We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. What if I told you that the endless comparisons you make, scrolling through someone else's life on social media, envying a colleague's promotion, or feeling left behind by a friend's success, are actually stealing your peace, not theirs? That jealousy, that gnawing feeling in your gut, isn't about them at all. It's about how your mind chooses to react. Imagine breaking free from that constant inner tug-of-war, feeling a deep sense of contentment no matter what others achieve. That's exactly what Stoicism offers, a timeless, practical cure for jealousy and comparison. It's not just philosophy, it's a roadmap to reclaiming your mental freedom, your focus, and your joy. In this video, we'll uncover the Stoic techniques that help you stop measuring your worth against others, control the narrative in your mind, and transform envy into empowerment. Watch till the very end, because the insights I'm sharing aren't just surface-level fixes. They're life-changing strategies that can completely rewire the way you experience success, happiness, and self-worth. By the time you finish this video, you won't just understand jealousy. You'll know exactly how to dismantle it and live on your own terms. Number 1. Understanding jealousy through the lens of Stoicism. Jealousy is one of those emotions that sneaks up on you when you least expect it. It whispers in the quiet corners of your mind, making you compare your life, your achievements, and even your worth to someone else. But what if you could step back and see it for what it really is? That's exactly what Stoicism teaches us. One of the great Stoic emperors once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is your chance to turn jealousy, which feels like a trap, into a doorway to growth. You have the power to recognize that jealousy isn't a reflection of your failure. It's a reflection of your mind clinging to what you think you lack. When you understand jealousy through the lens of Stoicism, you start to see it as an internal judgment rather than an external truth. It's not about what others have. It's about the story your mind is telling you. You might catch yourself thinking, "Why don't I have that? Why am I behind?" That voice isn't reality, it's an interpretation, and you can challenge it. You can choose to redirect your focus. Instead of letting your attention drift toward what others possess, train it on what you can control. Your actions, your choices, your mindset. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Every time jealousy arises, pause and ask yourself, what can I actually do right now to improve myself? That small shift is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger your inner resilience becomes. Another key insight is recognizing that comparison is often disguised as ambition. You see someone else's success and instantly feel inadequate, but the Stoics would urge you to ask, am I learning or am I envying? Am I acting or am I resenting? Turn that twinge of envy into a spark for self-improvement. When jealousy hits, take a moment to breathe and reflect on your own values. Write them down. Revisit them daily. This practice isn't just about mental clarity, it's a lifeline. It anchors you to what truly matters and pulls you away from the slippery slope of comparison. Now let's talk about practical steps you can take. First, the moment you notice jealousy, name it. Say to yourself, here's jealousy showing up again. Simply identifying the feeling gives you space to respond rather than react. Second, journal about it. Ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened? What am I assuming about myself that isn't necessarily true? This exercise forces you to confront your inner narrative instead of letting it fester unnoticed. Third, practice gratitude. Take a few minutes every day to acknowledge what you already have, what you've achieved, and what you're capable of. Gratitude doesn't erase ambition. It grounds it in reality, making your drive constructive rather than corrosive. Finally, remember this. Jealousy thrives when you believe in scarcity, when you think someone else's gain diminishes yours. Stoicism flips that belief on its head. Abundance isn't just about wealth or status, it's about recognizing the richness of your own life and character. Urges us to live according to nature and reason, and a big part of that is realizing that your path is yours alone. You can admire others without needing to mimic them. You can aspire without resenting. You can act without comparing. Each time jealousy appears, see it as an invitation, a reminder from the universe that you have the chance to strengthen your mind, refine your values, and choose freedom over fixation. By embracing these Stoic practices, you start to disarm jealousy. You take what once felt like a painful shadow and turn it into a teacher. You train yourself to act, to reflect, and to grow. You reclaim your focus, your energy, and your peace of mind. And slowly, over time, you realize that the power to overcome comparison and jealousy has been inside you all along. You just needed to notice it, nurture it, and act on it. Number 2, the root cause of comparison and its impact on your peace of mind. You need to understand something crucial. The moment you catch yourself comparing your life, your achievements, or even your happiness to someone else's, you're giving your peace of mind away. Every glance toward what others have, every mental tally of where you stand versus where they stand, quietly chips away at your serenity. It's not just a harmless thought, it's a sneaky thief. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And when you compare yourself, you react not to reality, but to an illusion, a filtered version of someone else's life that you can't possibly grasp in full. That constant measuring and weighing against others is the root of jealousy, dissatisfaction, and restlessness. You have to see it for what it is. Comparison is a story you tell yourself, not a fact. It thrives in your mind because you allow it to. It's a mental habit, one that's been repeated so many times that it feels natural. But here's the truth, you are not obliged to continue this cycle. You can interrupt it. You can stop giving it energy. Reminds you, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Your power lies in redirecting your attention, in choosing to focus on what's truly yours. Your actions, your thoughts, your effort. When you grasp this, comparison loses its grip. Start practicing awareness. The very next time a twinge of envy or a pang of "they have more than me" surfaces, pause. Don't push it away or ignore it. Observe it, name it. Acknowledge the sensation without judgment. Say to yourself, "This is comparison. It does not define me. It is not my truth." By doing this, you begin to weaken the automatic pull of comparison. You are teaching your mind a new habit, the habit of choosing your own standards instead of borrowing someone else. Then actively remind yourself of what you control. You cannot control someone else's talent, opportunities, or choices, but you can control your own diligence, your attitude, and your perspective. Every day, make a short mental inventory of things you've done well, things you've improved, and intentions you've honored. Write them down if you can. This simple exercise trains your brain to notice progress within your sphere rather than fixating on someone else. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And he was right. You've been suffering because you imagine that someone else's life is somehow better, more complete, or more deserving. It's time to break free. Consciously practice gratitude for your own journey. Celebrate the small victories, the quiet strengths, the unseen progress. When you catch yourself thinking, "They have this, I don't," pivot. Ask, "What can I do today that aligns with my values?" Refocus. Take one action that builds your own life rather than eroding it through comparison. Make it a daily ritual to measure your worth by your effort and character, not by external yardsticks. And here's the deeper shift. Internalize that life is not a competition. You are not behind and no one is ahead. The very idea of more and less is a social illusion, a story we accept without question. You can reject that story. You can tell yourself that your peace, your growth, and your satisfaction are entirely within your control. Begin small, be patient, and keep returning to this truth. Over time, the urge to compare will fade, leaving room for contentment, focus, and an inner calm that no outside circumstance can disturb. Take a breath, commit to this practice, look inward, and remember the Stoics walked this path for centuries and left behind guidance that still works. You are the guardian of your mind and you decide what thoughts get to live there. Comparison doesn't belong. Let it go. Number 3. Practical Stoic exercises to reduce envy and resentment. You know, jealousy and comparison creep in quietly, like shadows you don't even notice until they've settled in. The first step to defeating them is to recognize that they are not facts about the world. They are interpretations your mind has chosen to believe. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So, if you're feeling that twinge of envy, don't brush it aside. Don't let it whisper in your ear that someone else is luckier, smarter, or more deserving. Instead, face it head-on. Feel it, name it, and then place it under the cool, clear light of reason. One practical way to do this is through what the Stoics call daily reflection. Each day, take a quiet moment to mentally walk through moments where jealousy arose. Ask yourself, why did I feel this way? Did this person truly have something I needed, or did my mind attach a value to something unnecessary? By interrogating your feelings without judgment, you start to dismantle their power over you. You become the observer of your thoughts rather than their victim. Another exercise the Stoics urge you to practice is voluntary discomfort. Seneca said, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" When you intentionally experience small hardships, you train your mind to find contentment within yourself. It's like building armor against envy. You begin to see that your worth doesn't rise or fall based on what others have. You learn to appreciate what you have, not as a comparison to someone else's life, but as a foundation for your own growth. Start small. Skip a luxury today. Sit quietly with minimal distractions. Observe how little you truly need to feel complete. That practice reshapes your perception. Gratitude, though often dismissed as simple, is another weapon in your Stoic toolkit. Don't just say you're grateful, actively catalog your blessings in a way that challenges your envy. List them, turn them over in your mind, and let them fill your awareness. Wrote, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Let that thought guide you. When the green-eyed monster creeps in, counter it immediately with a deliberate acknowledgement of what you already have, what you've earned, what you can control. Make it a habit. The more you practice, the more automatic it becomes until comparison loses its grip. Then there's the exercise of perspective shifting, which is deceptively simple but profoundly effective. Picture the vast scale of human life, the insignificance of material accumulation, and the fleeting nature of fame or recognition. Meditate on the fact that what seems huge today is tiny in the grand scheme. The Stoics called this cosmic perspective. When envy hits, remind yourself that no one is truly ahead or behind. They are simply on a path you cannot see in its entirety. You are where you are supposed to be, and your focus should remain on becoming a better version of yourself, rather than someone else's shadow. Finally, action rooted in virtue is your ultimate antidote. You can't control other people, their successes, or their possessions, but you can control how you live. Choose to act with integrity, kindness, and courage every day. When you embody your values, envy loses relevance. Jealousy is a disease of inaction and comparison. Action, especially deliberate, value-driven action, is its cure. Every small step you take toward your ideals weakens resentment, reshapes your mind, and fosters genuine satisfaction. So don't wait for jealousy to disappear on its own. Face it, reflect on it, Challenge it. Shift your perspective. Strengthen your mind with discomfort. Fill your awareness with gratitude. And above all, act according to your own principles. Step by step, day by day, you can untangle yourself from the chains of envy and live with the quiet, unshakable peace that the Stoics valued above all else. Number 4, shifting focus from others. Achievements to personal growth. Imagine how much lighter your mind would feel if you stopped measuring your worth by what everyone else is doing. It sounds simple, but the truth is, most of us are trapped in this endless comparison loop, constantly scanning the world for benchmarks, for signs that we're ahead or behind. Once reminded himself, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Think about that. Every time you fixate on someone else's success, you are handing over control of your own happiness to someone else's choices. You let external events, something outside your grasp, dictate how you feel. That's a trap you don't need to fall into. You can break it. You have the power to redirect your attention inward to what actually belongs to you, your growth, your actions, your character. Start by observing your impulses. The next time you catch yourself scrolling, listening, or even just thinking about what someone else has achieved, pause. Ask yourself, does this really matter to me, or am I just measuring myself against someone else's scoreboard? That simple act of questioning, that tiny interruption, is where transformation begins. You're telling yourself that your value isn't determined by external comparison, but by the choices you make in the present moment. Epictetus, the Stoic teacher who believed freedom comes from within, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let that sink in. You can't control the accolades, the recognition, or the outcomes in others' lives. What you can control is the energy you devote to your own improvement. Shift your gaze from the shiny highlight reels of others, lives to the quiet, steady work of building your own. Here's a practical habit to start with. Every day, take a moment to write down 3 things you personally did to grow. They don't have to be huge victories. Maybe you finished a task you'd been avoiding. Maybe you learned a tiny new skill. Maybe you resisted an old urge that no longer serves you. Documenting your own growth trains your mind to value your path rather than someone else. Over time, you'll notice a subtle but powerful change. You begin to feel satisfaction from your own progress, from your own discipline, from your own resilience. That satisfaction is yours. It can't be taken, it can't be stolen, and it doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. You can also practice reframing in real time. When you feel the sting of jealousy creeping in, label it, not in judgment, just in awareness. "Ah, that's jealousy," you can say to yourself. Numbing it reduces its power. Then pivot, ask yourself, what can I do today that moves me forward? Suddenly, the energy that was fueling envy becomes fuel for your own development. It's an active, conscious choice to reclaim your attention. You are choosing growth over comparison. You are deciding that your journey matters more than anyone else's accolades. Lastly, internalize the Stoic mindset that life's only true measure is virtue, effort, and intention. Progress is private. Success is silent. Don't seek applause or recognition. Seek improvement. Each day, remind yourself, I have control over my thoughts, my actions, my discipline. Others' achievements are not my burden. Slowly but surely, your fixation on external markers diminishes. You start to enjoy the process rather than obsess over outcomes. And with that, jealousy loses its grip, comparison fades, and you feel lighter, freer, more capable. The shift isn't immediate, it's a habit, a muscle you train. But each conscious redirection of your focus reinforces a truth the Stoics lived by. Your life's quality is determined not by the noise outside, but by the wisdom, virtue, and attention you cultivate within. Number 5, cultivating gratitude and contentment in daily life. Imagine waking up each day And instead of letting your mind spiral into envy or longing for what someone else has, you pause, take a breath, and notice what's already yours. This is not just a feel-good exercise. This is the heart of Stoic practice. Once reminded himself, very little is needed to make a happy life. That's not just philosophy tucked into a dusty book. It's a call for you to shift your perspective right now, in this very moment. You have the power to notice, appreciate, and dwell in the richness of your own life, instead of constantly measuring it against the lives of others. Cultivating gratitude isn't about forcing yourself to feel thankful for everything in a mechanical way. No, it's about training your attention. It's about directing your mind to see abundance where you usually see lack. Start with your mornings. Before your feet even touch the floor, think of 3 things that exist in your life that, if they disappeared tomorrow, would leave a void. Let them sink in. Feel the warmth of having them. This is not just a thought exercise. It's a daily habit that rewires your mind. Seneca said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." You can live like that too. You can be wise. You can notice the small, often invisible threads that make your life whole. Take this a step further. Throughout your day, consciously acknowledge the moments that often go unnoticed. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet moments between tasks. These are the treasures that build contentment. Don't let the mind trick you into believing that happiness only comes from something grand, something shiny, or something you lack. Every moment holds fragments of satisfaction. Your mind has the ability to either dismiss them or magnify them. Train it to magnify them. Now let's bring in an actionable twist. Each evening, write down at least 3 things that brought you a sense of peace or joy during the day. They don't have to be monumental. Even a fleeting smile, a comforting cup of tea, a completed task, anything that stirred a spark of appreciation. This journaling isn't just busy work. It's an intentional act of rewiring your perception. You're teaching yourself to see life through the lens of abundance instead of comparison. You're forming a habit of contentment, which, in turn, softens the sting of jealousy when it inevitably creeps in. You can also practice a mental exercise that the Stoics would have loved. When you catch yourself comparing or envying, pause. Ask yourself, do I truly need what they have to be content? Then imagine a life without the things you do have. This is not negativity. This is perspective. It is training your mind to cherish what exists rather than endlessly craving what doesn't. It creates an internal environment where gratitude grows naturally. Remember, this is not a one-time practice. Gratitude is a muscle and contentment is a skill. The more you flex them, the stronger they become. Each morning, each evening, each moment of noticing, the little victories accumulate. Soon, the noise of comparison diminishes, the ache of jealousy fades, and you start to live fully in what is yours, not in what is someone else. You start to inhabit a life that feels richer, calmer, and more grounded. And in that space, you will discover the Stoic cure, a deep, unshakable contentment that no one else can take away. So today, right now, start looking around. Take stock of what you have, appreciate it, feel it, write it down. Remind yourself daily with purpose that your life as it is enough. Your peace is not found in what others have. It's cultivated within, nurtured by your awareness, and strengthened by consistent practice. That is how you build gratitude. That is how you build contentment. That is how you step out of the shadow of jealousy and into the light of your own life. And there you have it, the Stoic cure for jealousy and comparison. Remember, envy only steals your peace, but wisdom gives it back. The next time you catch yourself measuring your life against someone else's, pause, reflect, and ask, what can I control here? That's where your true power lies. If this video opened your eyes even a little, imagine what consistently practicing these Stoic hacks could do for your life. So take a deep breath, let go of comparison, and step into your own path with clarity and calm. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because we've got more life-changing Stoic wisdom coming your way. And share your thoughts below. What will you start controlling today? Until next time, keep your mind grounded, your heart steady, and remember, the only life worth living is the one you create for yourself. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. What if I told you that almost every day you're being subtly manipulated, sometimes without even realizing it? From casual conversations at work to scrolling through social media, people are constantly trying to sway your decisions, your emotions, and even your self-worth. And most of the time it works, because we aren't aware of the tools that can protect our mind. But here's the good news. There's a formula straight from the wisdom of the Stoics that makes you nearly impossible to manipulate. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about mastering your inner fortress, seeing through deception, and responding with clarity and calm, even when others try to bait you. In this video, I'm going to break down the Stoic formula step by step, showing you how to build unshakable mental armor and maintain control over your life, your choices, and your peace of mind. Stick with me till the very end, because the final principle is the key that ties everything together, and it's what transforms ordinary people into unbreakable forces in their own lives. By the time you finish watching, manipulation won't stand a chance against you. Number 1, master your emotions before reacting. You cannot control the world, but you can control yourself. That is the heart of mastering your emotions before reacting. So often, people hand over their power without even realizing it, letting anger, fear, or frustration dictate their words and actions. But here's the truth. When you react impulsively, you give someone else control over your mind. You allow their words, their actions, their intentions to manipulate the way you feel, the way you think, the way you respond. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Strength begins when you pause, when you refuse to let your first instinct run the show. You need to see your emotions as signals, not commands. That rush of irritation, that spike of fear, that tug of pride, they're not instructions, they're information. And once you treat them this way, once you recognize them without judgment, you reclaim the space to choose your response. Imagine the freedom in that moment, the space between stimulus and reaction. That pause is where your power lives. Instead of being pushed by the tide of emotion, you become the calm harbor where clarity rests. You begin to respond with intention, not reflex. You begin to act from reason, from principle, from what truly aligns with your values. And this is what makes you impossible to manipulate. People may try to provoke you, to pressure you, to twist you into reacting their way. But when you've mastered your emotions, those attempts fall flat. You are steady. You are deliberate. You are untouchable because no one can pull the strings of your mind that you refuse to surrender. So how do you start building this mastery? Begin with awareness. Throughout your day, notice the moments your emotions rise, the irritation at a comment, the rush of anxiety at a situation, the subtle sting of ego. Don't suppress them, don't fight them, just observe. Label them. Say quietly to yourself, this is anger, this is fear, this is pride. Simply naming them breaks their power. It creates a distance, a tiny but crucial pause where choice becomes possible. Then, when the moment comes to act, breathe. Take a slow, deliberate breath. Allow that pause to stretch, even for a few heartbeats. Ask yourself, what is the most reasoned, most effective, most aligned action I can take here? This is the Stoic way. This is how you reclaim authority over yourself. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And he wasn't talking about external restraints. He was talking about the inner turbulence that keeps you chained, the impulses, the reactive tendencies, the emotional storms. You can practice tamming these storms daily. Visualize challenges before they even happen. Picture a conversation or confrontation that might trigger you. Feel the initial surge of emotion. Then see yourself breathing through it, observing it, choosing your response calmly. Over time, this mental rehearsal makes your composure automatic. Your reactions become deliberate, measured, unshakable. You transform from someone tossed about by circumstance to someone anchored in principle. And here's the most liberating part. As you master your emotions, your presence alone commands respect. People sense it. They notice the calm, the steadiness, the deliberate poise. You are no longer easy to manipulate because your inner world is sovereign. Others may attempt to provoke, pressure, or tempt you, but the strings they hope to pull simply aren't there. You become a fortress of rationality, a quiet, unyielding authority that does not need to justify itself. So start today. Notice your emotional surges. Name them. Pause, breathe, choose, make it a habit. Over time, you'll find that mastering your emotions isn't just a skill. It's a lifestyle, a shield, and the key to becoming impossible to manipulate. Number 2 question: every assumption someone presents. The first step to becoming impossible to manipulate starts with a simple yet powerful habit: question everything. Not in a cynical way, not to distrust the world blindly, but to sharpen your mind so that no one can slip in assumptions, half-truths, or hidden agendas under your radar. When someone presents something to you as fact, pause. Don't accept it automatically. Ask yourself, is this true? On what grounds? What is being left out? Reminds us, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Let that sink in. Every statement someone makes carries the weight of their perspective, their desires, their biases. If you stop questioning, if you let their assumptions pass unchallenged, you hand them control over your perception. You let them shape your thoughts, your reactions, your actions. And that, in essence, is the doorway to manipulation. You have to become deliberate in dissecting the ideas others present. This doesn't mean doubting everything or walking through life suspicious of every word spoken. It means training yourself to pause, to think critically, to create that moment of awareness before you act or react. Start small. When someone tells you something, an instruction, a suggestion, a claim, practice catching yourself in that brief pause. Mentally say, "Let me examine this." Look for the underlying assumptions. Are they suggesting something because it's actually true or because it serves them? Are they nudging you toward a reaction they want? Stoicism teaches that your mind is your fortress. You get to decide which influences cross the threshold. Questioning assumptions is the gatekeeper that keeps your fortress secure. This habit will also change the way you interact with people. When you question assumptions, you begin to engage more thoughtfully. You don't respond reflexively. You respond intentionally. You become someone who doesn't get swept up by emotion, by pressure, by clever phrasing. You start to see the structure beneath the surface. What is really being asked, implied, or suggested? And in that seeing, you find freedom. Freedom from being manipulated. Freedom from being rushed, persuaded, or guilted into decisions that aren't yours to make. You are no longer a passenger in your life. You are the driver, navigating carefully with clarity. To make this a habit, try a simple exercise daily. Take one statement someone makes, anything at all, and interrogate it. Break it down. Ask yourself, what assumptions are hidden here? What do I know for sure? What might be left unsaid? Could there be another perspective? Allow your mind to entertain different angles without committing to them immediately. Feel the control that comes from this exercise. This is not mental gymnastics for show. It is building the muscle that protects your autonomy. It trains you to remain calm, deliberate, and unshakable even when others push, plead, or provoke. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Becoming impossible to manipulate starts with mastering your mind. Mastering it means refusing to swallow assumptions whole, refusing to act on half-truths, refusing to let your perception be hijacked. Questioning assumptions is your daily armor. It is the quiet practice that builds inner power, confidence, and clarity. And the beauty is, it doesn't make you argumentative or suspicious. It makes you discerning, grounded, and unshakably aware. Over time, you'll notice a subtle shift. Conversations become clearer, decisions become easier, and the pull of manipulation loses all its grip. Every time you pause, every time you challenge an assumption, you reinforce your sovereignty. You remind yourself that the world may make claims, but you are the final judge of what influences you. You are not easy to sway, not because you're cold or rigid, but because you've chosen to wield your mind as your own most loyal ally. Number 3, focus only on what's within your control. The moment you start focusing only on what's within your control, you step into a power that most people spend their lives chasing but never truly grasp. It sounds simple, almost obvious, but think about how often you let the opinions, actions, or moods of others dictate your inner state. You get swayed, frustrated, anxious, all because you are trying to control what is inherently uncontrollable. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. Epictetus said it plainly, "Some things are up to us and some are not up to us." That's it. That's the whole secret. Your thoughts, your actions, your choices, these are yours, the rest, not yours. Stop giving away your power by trying to steer what isn't yours to steer. When you truly absorb this, a strange, liberating calm washes over you. You no longer feel like a puppet dancing to the strings of circumstance. You start noticing how much energy you've wasted worrying about other people's perceptions, about outcomes you can't influence, about events that have no allegiance to your will. You reclaim that energy piece by piece, and suddenly, you're not just reacting, you're acting intentionally. You are no longer a passenger on life's chaotic train. You become the driver of your own choices, and with that comes a kind of quiet authority that is impossible to manipulate. Why? Because manipulators feed on your attempts to control the uncontrollable, your fears, your insecurities, your overreaching. Strip that away, and there's nothing left for them to use. Start small right now. Take one situation today where you feel anxious, pressured, or tempted to overexert yourself trying to fix it. Pause, ask yourself, what here is truly mine to manage? What part of this is within my control? Separate the two in your mind like a sculptor separating stone from marble. Focus only on the part you can shape and let the rest go. Imagine carrying a backpack. Every thought or worry about what's outside your control is an unnecessary weight. Remove it. Feel the ease that comes with lighter shoulders, a clearer mind, a steadier heart. Reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Let that sink in. It's not just a quote, it's a call to action, a strategy for armor against manipulation. Every time you anchor yourself in what you can control, you are building walls that others cannot breach. You don't have to react defensively or anxiously to provocation because you're not fighting the uncontrollable. You are acting with clarity, with purpose, with calm. And that calm itself disarms manipulation. People are drawn to certainty, to clarity, to presence. When you show that your state of mind is not negotiable, not malleable by others' whims, they can't twist you. They can't push buttons that don't exist. Practice this intentionally. Each morning, take 5 minutes to list the things you can control today, your choices, your efforts, your responses. Then list the things you can't, everything else. Feel the weight difference. Commit to revisiting this list mentally throughout your day, especially in moments of stress or confrontation. Ask yourself again, what is mine to manage? Focus there. Let the rest wash past like a river around a rock. Make it a habit. Over time, this becomes instinctual. You start responding with intention, not reaction. You start conserving your energy for what truly matters. And with this focus, manipulation loses its grip entirely. Control your mind, control your actions, control your effort, and the rest will no longer control you. You become impossible to manipulate, not because you fight harder, but because you refuse to give your power away. Every moment you practice this, every breath you spend anchored in what is within your control, you are building an unshakable fortress of self-mastery. So begin now. Let go of what you cannot change. Own what you can. And watch how your life transforms, not through force or struggle, but through the quiet, unwavering command of your own choices. Number 4, respond with calm logic, not anger. You felt it before, the heat rising in your chest, the rush of words that want to escape like wildfire the moment someone pushes your buttons. It's instinctive. The world trains you to react, to lash out, to let anger be the weapon of the moment. But Stoicism teaches something far more powerful. The moment you respond with calm logic instead of anger, you reclaim control. You become unshakable and nothing anyone does can manipulate you. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That power begins the instant you pause, inhale deeply, and let reason take the reins. It isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about recognizing that your anger does nothing to solve the situation and everything to cloud your judgment. Imagine for a moment that every provocation is a test, not against your patience, but against your clarity. When someone tries to provoke you, you have a choice. Allow the sparks of irritation to dictate your response, or step back, center yourself, and respond with precise, calm logic. Feel the difference. One path leads to chaos, reactive energy, and vulnerability. The other leads to authority, influence, and unshakable confidence. You can almost see it in your mind. The tension in your body softens, your thoughts line up like soldiers ready for action, and your words, carefully measured, carry weight without aggression. That's the power of responding logically, not angrily. You can train yourself to do this deliberately. Start by noticing your triggers. When irritation rises, pause, place a hand on your chest or your stomach wherever you feel the tension. Take a deep, slow breath as if you're sending oxygen not just to your lungs but to your mind itself. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want? What actually matters here? The moment you shift focus from the insult, the manipulation, or the attack to the result you want, your anger loses its grip. It can't dictate your words anymore. Instead, your response emerges from clarity, precision, and calm strength. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think about that. Every time you let anger lead, you surrender freedom. You hand over control of your mind to someone else's intent. But every time you respond with calm logic, you take it back. You set the rules. You are no longer a puppet in someone else's drama. You become, quietly, a force that cannot be swayed by emotional ploys. Your composure alone becomes a shield, an invisible barrier that deflects manipulation effortlessly. This isn't just philosophy, it's practice. Challenge yourself in small, deliberate ways. During conversations, when something feels provocative, speak slowly. Articulate your point with precision. Notice how different it feels when your words come from reason rather than rage. Watch how people respond differently to you, not with hostility, not with dominance, but with attention, curiosity, even respect. This builds momentum. Over time, your habit of calm response becomes instinctive, and manipulation attempts bounce off as if they hit a wall. The truth is, your calm logic is a magnet of strength. It draws clarity to you while pushing chaos and deception away. Each time you practice it, each time you resist the pull of immediate anger, you are exercising power that very few people ever master. You are training your mind to be unshakable, your presence to be commanding, your life to be directed by reason rather than reaction. So start now. The next time tension rises, do not engage on the level of the storm. Stand firm. Breathe. Analyze. Respond. Let logic guide your words, and watch as the world begins to bend not to your rage, but to your quiet, unyielding strength. This is the Stoic formula for being impossible to manipulate: calm, deliberate, and invincible from the inside out. Number 5, detach from the need for approval. The moment you stop living for the approval of others, you start reclaiming your life. It sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest things to do. Every day, whether you notice it or not, you are subtly influenced by the desire to be liked, to be praised, to be validated. That need quietly bends your decisions, softens your boundaries, and leaves cracks in your armor that manipulators can easily slip through. Reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The key here is that your actions, your words, your very presence should align with your own judgment, not the fleeting whims of what others think. When you detach from the need for approval, you no longer hand over your power to someone else's opinion. You reclaim the authority to act according to your principles. You become untouchable, not because others fear you, but because you fear nothing. Start by noticing where your approval seeking shows up. Is it in conversations, in the way you dress, in the way you hesitate before speaking? These little moments are opportunities. Each time you catch yourself craving a nod, a compliment, a recognition, pause, breathe, remind yourself, your worth is not up for debate, your value is not conditional. Seneca once said, "We should every night call ourselves to an account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passion opposed?" This isn't about harsh self-criticism. It's about clarity. It's about noticing when your decisions are influenced by the fear of judgment and then consciously choosing a different path. You are training your mind to be free. You are learning to act because it is right, because it aligns with reason, because it resonates with your own integrity, not because someone might clap or nod in approval. Detachment from approval doesn't mean coldness. It doesn't mean withdrawing or ignoring the world. It means standing firm while the world sways around you. You become the calm eye in a storm of external expectations. And here's the thing, when you stop needing validation, your presence changes. People sense it. There is an unmistakable confidence in someone who acts from principle rather than praise. They listen differently. They can't twist you as easily. They can't pull you into games or manipulations that rely on fear or insecurity. You become difficult to manipulate not because you argue, but because your stability and self-possession leave no openings. You can practice this every day. Pick one small action where you would normally seek approval and refuse it. Maybe you would normally ask for feedback before speaking. Instead, speak your truth. Maybe you would normally dress to impress. Instead, wear what aligns with your comfort and sense of self. Maybe you would normally hesitate to share your opinion for fear of disapproval. Instead, voice it calmly, deliberately. Each small act builds an inner muscle, a resilience against the invisible forces of manipulation. Each time you choose your own judgment over someone else's validation, you strengthen the part of you that cannot be swayed by fleeting opinions. Remember, this is a practice, not an overnight transformation. The world is loud. People want your attention, your reaction, your nod to their narrative. But you are learning to pause, to center yourself, to act with deliberate intention. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let this guide you. Your reactions are your domain. Your judgment is yours alone. When you fully detach from the need for approval, you move through the world with quiet strength, a clarity that cannot be bent or twisted. You stop giving away your power, and in that moment, manipulation loses its grip. You become anchored, untouchable, unshakable. And the best part, you do this not to prove anything to anyone, but to honor your own reason, your own principles, and your own freedom. Remember, becoming impossible to manipulate isn't about being cold or unfeeling. It's about reclaiming control over your mind, your reactions, and your life. By applying this Stoic formula, You're not just defending yourself from manipulation. You're stepping into a version of yourself that commands respect effortlessly. So take what you've learned today, practice it daily, and watch how your relationships, your confidence, and your peace of mind transform. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs this wisdom, and don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing strategies. Your journey to unshakable clarity and respect starts now. Stay disciplined, stay aware, and as the Stoics would remind us, control what you can, let go of what you can't. If you seek tranquility, do less. Or, more accurately, do what's essential, what the logos of a social being requires, and in the requisite way. What if I told you that every time you scroll through social media or hear about someone else's success, you're setting yourself up for a mental trap, one that steals your peace and drains your energy? That creeping feeling of comparison and jealousy isn't just a harmless emotion. It's a silent thief of your happiness. But what if you could flip the script? What if you could respond to these feelings with the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and turn jealousy into your greatest teacher instead of your worst enemy? In this video, we'll dive deep into the Stoic response to comparison and jealousy, unpacking powerful, practical insights that can free you from the endless cycle of envy. Stick around till the very end, because these timeless strategies will not only change how you see others, but also transform how you value yourself. Your peace of mind is worth it. Let's reclaim it together. Number 1, recognize that comparison is a judgment, not a fact. Let's get real for a moment. When you catch yourself comparing your life to someone else's, it's not a neutral observation. It's a judgment. A mental verdict you pass, often without even realizing it. The truth is, comparison isn't about facts. It's about your mind interpreting what you see and twisting it into something that feels threatening or insufficient. Reminded us, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. That's a powerful idea to hold on to. You need to start seeing comparison for what it really is. A judgment, a story your mind tells itself. And here's the key: stories can be changed. When you recognize that comparison is not an objective truth but a judgment you've accepted, you gain power. You can choose to question it, challenge it, and ultimately refuse to be ruled by it. So how do you do that? First, pause next time you feel that sting of envy or inadequacy. Ask yourself, is this a fact or is it just my judgment? Write it down if you have to. This simple act of numbing the judgment breaks its grip. It moves you from automatic reaction to conscious choice. Second, remember that your worth is not measured by how you stack up against others. Epictetus taught that your value comes from your own virtues and actions, not external comparisons. Focus on your own growth, your own progress, and what you can control. Try this exercise. Each day when a comparison pops up, jot down what you're actually judging. Then deliberately reframe it. If you think, they're more successful than me, reframe it to, their success doesn't diminish my potential. Over time, this rewiring rewrites your mental narrative. Comparison loses its power when you realize it's a mental habit, not an absolute truth. It's a judgment you can refuse to accept. This shift changes everything. You reclaim your peace, your focus, your energy. You stop chasing shadows and start living your own truth. So don't just let comparison drag you down. Stand up to it, question it, defeat it. That's how you grow, how you build resilience, how you become the master of your mind, not a victim of your judgments. Take this step now. Because freedom from comparison starts with one simple but revolutionary insight. It's not fact, it's just a judgment, and you hold the power to change it. Number 2, focus on your own virtues and progress, not others' achievements. When you catch yourself drifting into comparison, measuring your life against someone else's. You're stepping off your own path. The Stoics knew this well. They remind you to focus on your own virtues and progress, not others' achievements. Why? Because your peace, your growth, and your fulfillment come from within, not from a scoreboard that belongs to someone else. Think about it. When you fixate on others, you give away your power. You start chasing shadows, distracted by what they have or what they've done. But one of the greatest Stoic minds said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's your call to action right now. Stop watching from the sidelines. Focus on being your version of good, your version of progress. This isn't about perfection. It's about steady improvement, turning your energy inward, refining your character, building your resilience. When you do this, comparison loses its grip. You find joy in your journey, not in someone else's destination. Here's a practical step you can take today. Write down one virtue you want to develop, a quality like patience, courage, or honesty. Every day, ask yourself, did I live this virtue today? Keep a journal. Track your progress. Celebrate the small wins. Epictetus put it simply, don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. Focus on your growth. Accept what comes. This is your freedom. So turn your gaze inward. Nurture your virtues. Your progress matters more than any other person's highlight reel. Let that sink in. Now act on it. Number 3, understand that external things are indifferent and beyond your control. When it comes to comparison and jealousy, one of the most powerful shifts you can make is to truly understand this. External things are indifferent and beyond your control. This isn't just some abstract Stoic jargon. It's a practical mindset that can change how you respond to the world around you, especially when envy starts to creep in. You need to grasp this deeply. The things you often compare yourself to, other people's achievements, possessions, status, these are external. They exist outside of your control. And because they are beyond your control, they are, in the language of Stoicism, indifferent. That doesn't mean they don't matter at all. It means they shouldn't dictate your inner peace or your self-worth. Reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Think about that for a moment. If you give your power away to things outside your control, like what others have or how they live, you surrender your strength. You let jealousy take root. But when you reclaim your power by focusing on what you control, your thoughts, your actions, your attitudes, you build resilience. You become the master of your mind, not a slave to outside circumstances. Here's a simple exercise for you to try. Whenever you notice jealousy bubbling up, maybe someone posts about a success that stings or flaunts something you desire, pause, take a slow breath. Then ask yourself, is this something I control? If the answer is no, remind yourself, this is indifferent. It has no power over my peace. Write this down somewhere visible. Make it your daily mantra. External things are indifferent. Let it sink in until it becomes your reflex, your shield against comparison's bite. Another powerful step is to shift your focus to internal values, things like integrity, courage, kindness. These are yours to own. You can control how you live by them. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So, instead of reacting to someone else's success with envy, choose to respond with self-mastery. You're building a muscle here, the muscle of your mind. It's about practice, patience, and persistence. Every time you remind yourself that external things don't define you, you weaken jealousy's grip. So start today. Commit to seeing external things as neutral, neither good nor bad in themselves. Your judgment is what colors them. You get to decide what has value in your life. And when you live by that choice, jealousy loses its power. You have everything it takes. Now, use this Stoic truth to reclaim your calm and focus on what truly matters, your own character and peace of mind. Number 4, use jealousy as a signal to improve yourself, not to resent others. Jealousy, it sneaks up on you. That quick, sharp feeling when you notice someone else has what you want. It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling. But here's the thing, jealousy itself isn't the enemy. How you respond to it, that's what really matters. The Stoics teach us to see jealousy not as a poison to stew in, but as a signal, a guidepost pushing you toward your own growth. Imagine this. Instead of letting jealousy twist into resentment, you lean into it. You listen. What exactly is it telling you? Often, jealousy points to a gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's your mind's way of shining a light on what matters deeply to you. Said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That means the very feeling that tries to trip you up can become the fuel to move forward. When jealousy arises, pause, don't let it spiral. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? What can I improve about my own journey? This shifts your energy from wasting time comparing to actively building. Instead of resenting others' success, channel that energy into your own actions. Growth starts inside you, not in the shadows of others. Here's a practical step. The next time jealousy hits, write down what triggered it. Is it ambition, creativity, connection? Use that as your roadmap. Then pick one small step you can take today toward that goal. Maybe it's learning a new skill, adjusting your mindset, or simply showing up more consistently. Remember, Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Jealousy isn't your reaction's cause, it's just the spark. You choose whether it burns you down or lights your path. Turn jealousy from a burden into your personal compass. Let it signal where you want to grow, not where you want to tear others down. That's the Stoic way, and that's the way to real peace and progress. Number 5, practice gratitude for what you have rather than longing for what others possess. Let's talk about something that might seem simple but is profoundly powerful. Practicing gratitude for what you have instead of chasing after what others seem to possess. This is not just a feel-good tip. It's a Stoic shield against the corrosive effects of comparison and jealousy. When you focus on what's already yours, you stop giving power to the restless, unsatisfying desire for more. You see, the Stoics understood this well. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Think about that. It's not your situation or your possessions that make you rich or poor in spirit. It's the way you look at them. When you constantly fixate on what others have, you're inviting misery into your mind. But when you flip that gaze inward and appreciate what you already own, your health, your mind, your freedom, you start to build an unshakable foundation. So how do you make gratitude a daily habit? Start small. Every morning, take a moment and mentally list 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand. Sometimes the simplest things are the richest. The air you breathe, the roof over your head, the ability to choose your attitude. Let this practice anchor you, especially when comparison creeps in. Another Stoic nugget from Epictetus. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. That's your mantra. Shift your mindset to rejoice, not to grieve. Every time jealousy whispers in your ear, counter it with a mental thank you for something solid in your life. Here's an exercise. When you catch yourself comparing, pause and ask, what is one thing I genuinely have that others do? Maybe it's your resilience, your unique perspective, your inner peace. Focus on that. Let it grow until it drowns out the noise of envy. You owe it to yourself to reclaim your joy. Gratitude is the key that unlocks contentment, cutting through the fog of longing. It's not about denying ambition or growth. It's about rooting yourself so deeply in what is already yours that no external comparison can shake you. Start today. Cultivate gratitude like it's your most valuable asset, because truly it is. Remember, jealousy and comparison only steal your peace. They never add to your worth. The Stoics teach us to focus on what's truly ours, our own thoughts, actions, and virtues. So, next time you catch yourself comparing or feeling envy, pause, breathe, and bring your attention back to your own path. If you commit to this practice, you'll find freedom, not in changing others, but in mastering yourself. If this video spoke to you, hit like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom. And don't forget to drop a comment below. What's one thing you'll stop comparing today? Keep your mind clear, your heart steady, and live on your terms. Until next time, stay strong and stoic. If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after. What if I told you that no matter how pure your intentions, someone, somewhere, right now, is twisting your words, doubting your motives, and trying to chip away at your reputation? You might not even know their name, but their whispers travel faster than truth ever could. And here's the harsh reality. Gossip is not just idle chatter. It's a quiet dagger aimed at your character, often delivered with a smile. The Stoics understood this well. They knew you can't stop tongues from wagging, but you can control how you respond. In this video, we're going to uncover the Stoic way to handle gossip and character assassination without letting it poison your peace or dictate your self-worth. By the end, you'll learn how to transform rumors into reminders of your own strength, and how to let your actions speak so loudly that no lie can outlast them. Stay with me until the end, because the wisdom you're about to hear could be the shield that protects your mind from one of life's most subtle but destructive attacks. Number 1, focus on what's within your control. Ignore external opinions. When gossip starts swirling or someone tries to drag your character through the mud, it's natural to feel a surge of frustration, anger, or even fear. But here's the Stoic secret that can transform your response and your life. Focus only on what's within your control. Let me be clear, external opinions, whispers behind your back, or false accusations, none of that is yours to command. Trying to control or fix what others say about you is like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you grasp this, you stop giving power away to opinions that don't belong to you. Think about it. Why waste your energy worrying over someone else's judgment or the gossip they spread? That energy belongs to you, and you can decide how to use it. This isn't about ignoring feedback or shutting down your awareness. It's about choosing where to place your focus. You cannot stop others from talking, but you can stop yourself from being shaken by it. Instead of reacting to what's beyond your reach, turn inward. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? Your thoughts, your responses, your integrity, your actions. These are your realm. Start practicing this by taking a simple daily exercise. When you catch yourself dwelling on what others might be saying or thinking, pause, breathe deeply, remind yourself, this is outside my control. Then, gently bring your attention back to what you can influence, how you treat yourself, how you act, and how you uphold your values. Over time, this refocus becomes muscle memory, and gossip loses its grip on you. Remember Seneca's wisdom. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Don't let imagined judgments consume your peace. What truly matters is your inner character, not the flickering opinions of others. By anchoring yourself in what you control, you cultivate a powerful shield against the chaos of gossip. You become untouchable, not because you silence others, but because their noise no longer reaches you. It's a form of silent strength, the kind that doesn't need loud defense or public vindication. So here's your call to action. Start today. When gossip tries to pull you under, step back. Own your mind and your reactions. Build the habit of redirecting your focus to your own sphere of influence. This will not only protect you but also empower you to live with true freedom and peace. You are the master of your mind. Let that be your foundation against every attack, every rumor, every character smear. Hold your ground, stay true to yourself, and watch how your calm indifference to external noise becomes your greatest victory. Number 2, respond with calm indifference, not anger or defensiveness. When someone tries to drag your name through the mud or spreads whispers behind your back, your first instinct might be to lash out, to defend yourself fiercely, or to get angry. But here, where your stoic strength truly shines, you respond not with fire but with calm indifference. Imagine this, a rock in a storm. The waves crash, the wind roars, but the rock stands steady, unmoved. That's the mindset you want to cultivate. Why? Because anger and defensiveness only feed the fire. When you react emotionally, you hand over control of your peace to someone else's words. You become a puppet pulled by the strings of gossip and slander. Instead, you take back your power by choosing how you respond. And the most powerful response is one of serene detachment. Reminds us, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. When you hear gossip or feel the sting of character assassination, your inner dialogue matters the most. Ask yourself, does this attack reflect the truth of who I am? If not, why give it weight? Your self-worth comes from within, rooted in your own virtue and actions, not from the fleeting opinions of others. Responding with calm indifference means you acknowledge the situation without letting it control you. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending you don't care. It's about refusing to let negativity shape your mood or derail your purpose. Think of it as a shield. The words fly at you, but they bounce harmlessly off your inner armor. Here's a practical exercise to build this muscle. The next time you catch yourself boiling with anger or defensiveness over someone's gossip, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Repeat silently, "Their words do not define me." Feel the tension in your body ease. This simple habit trains your mind to stay centered even when external chaos tries to unsettle you. Also, try journaling your thoughts after encounters with gossip. Write down what was said, how it made you feel, and then rewrite the situation from a place of calm detachment. This reframing shifts your focus from emotional reaction to rational perspective. It reminds you that you alone hold the key to your emotional state. Remember Seneca's wisdom. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Much of the pain gossip causes is born from the stories you tell yourself about what others think. When you step back and refuse to engage emotionally, you rob those stories of their power. You are not responsible for what others say about you. You are responsible for how you carry yourself in the face of it. When you respond with calm indifference, you demonstrate a strength that is quiet but undeniable. It's the strength that lets others talk while you keep walking, focused, steady, unshaken. So start now. Practice this calm indifference daily. When gossip comes your way, don't react. Observe. Reflect. Respond with the unshakable peace of a stoic warrior who knows that true honor lives in one's character, not in the noisy opinions of others. Number 3. Remember that gossip reveals more about the speaker than about you. When someone gossips about you, it's tempting to feel hurt, defensive, or even angry. But here's a powerful truth from Stoicism that can completely change how you react. Gossip reveals far more about the person speaking than about you. Yes, you heard that right. Their words say less about your character and more about their own. Think about it. When someone spreads rumors or whispers behind your back, what does that say about their mind, their values, their emotional state? Often, gossip is born from insecurity, jealousy, or a desire to manipulate. It's a reflection of weakness, not strength. As Epictetus wisely said, if someone speaks badly of you, don't defend yourself. Instead, ask yourself, what sense do I have of myself that they would choose to attack me? This is your invitation to shift your focus. Instead of obsessing over what others say, tune in to what their gossip reveals about them. Their need to tear others down exposes their own battles with envy or dissatisfaction. They try to dim your light because their own burns low. Their character is on display in their words, not yours. Now, how do you make this shift real in your daily life? Start by training your mind to catch yourself when you begin to worry about gossip. When a rumor or insult floats your way, pause and remind yourself, this reveals their struggles, not mine. This small internal shift builds resilience. It takes the sting out of the gossip and replaces it with perspective. Next, practice detachment. Stoics teach us to focus only on what's within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. The opinions of others, they're outside your control. So why waste energy trying to change what you cannot? By accepting this, you free yourself from the chains of gossip. You no longer depend on others' approval or fear their judgment. Here's a practical exercise. Each day, spend a few minutes reflecting on the people who have spoken ill of you or others. Instead of reacting emotionally, quietly analyze what their behavior reveals about their mindset. What insecurities might they be hiding? What weaknesses do they expose by attacking? You'll start to see gossip as a window into human nature rather than a personal attack. Remember advice. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. Your power lies in your perspective. You decide if gossip affects your peace or not. When you hold that power firmly, gossip loses its ability to control you. You don't need to defend yourself against every whisper or slanderous word. Instead, let your character speak through your calmness, dignity, and unwavering self-awareness. The more you embody this, the less the gossip matters, and the more you thrive despite it. So today, commit to this mindset shift. The next time gossip crosses your path, pause. Reflect on what it really says about the speaker. Release the need to react. Protect your peace fiercely. In doing so, you cultivate a strength that's quiet but unbreakable, a true Stoic's shield against the noise of the world. Number 4, use negative talk as a chance to practice inner strength and resilience. When you hear gossip swirling around you, or worse, feel the sting of character assassination, it's easy to get swept away by hurt, anger, or defensiveness. But here's the thing. Those moments, as painful as they may feel, are actually golden opportunities. They are tests of your inner strength, your resilience, your ability to remain unshaken. The Stoics knew this well. Famously said, if someone does wrong, it is because they think it is right. That means negativity directed at you often says more about the other person than it does about you. You can't control what others say or think, but you absolutely control how you respond. Instead of letting negative talk break you down, use it as a training ground for your mind. Picture it like this. Every harsh word, every whisper meant to tear you down is like a weight you lift at the gym. Each repetition makes you stronger, more resilient. You don't collapse under the pressure, you build stamina. So how do you put this into practice? First, breathe. Slow, deep breaths anchor you in the present moment and stop you from reacting impulsively. Then, remind yourself that your value doesn't come from others' opinions. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your power lies in your response. Next, take a moment to reflect. What can this negativity teach you? Is there any truth worth acknowledging without judgment, or is it just noise? If it's the latter, which is often the case, practice letting it roll off your back like water on a duck's feathers. You aren't absorbing their poison. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you face negative talk, pause and silently repeat a mantra, something like, "I control my mind, I control my peace." Repeat it until your emotional response softens. This is you rewiring your reactions, turning a moment of potential damage into one of power. Another step is to keep a journal. Write down what was said, how it made you feel, and how you chose to respond or want to respond next time. Over time, you'll notice patterns in your reactions and build greater awareness. This is resilience in action. Remember, resilience isn't about being emotionless or cold. It's about not letting external chaos dictate your internal calm. Seneca put it perfectly. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not tested. When gossip or slander comes your way, know that you're being tested, and you can pass with flying colors. So you've got a choice. Let gossip pull you into a downward spiral or rise above it, stronger and more steady than before. Choose to see negative talk as your daily mental workout, sharpening your will and deepening your peace. Embrace the discomfort. Use it as fuel for growth. And watch how, over time, the noise of others fades, replaced by the quiet confidence of a mind unshaken. Number 5, maintain your integrity by living according to your values, not others' judgments. When people gossip about you or try to tear down your character, the easiest trap to fall into is letting their opinions shape how you see yourself. But here's the truth. Your worth isn't up for debate in the court of public opinion. The only judgment that truly matters is your own, your commitment to living according to your values. Wisely reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This means you focus on what you can control, your actions, your choices, your integrity, not on the noise swirling around you. You cannot stop gossip from happening. You can't control who says what or how they say it, but you can control how you respond. And that starts by anchoring yourself in your principles, your true north. Think about it like this. When you hold firm to your values, you build an internal fortress. No matter how loud the chatter, no matter how toxic the whispers, that fortress stands tall because it's built on something solid, your own truth. Others might try to shake it, but you don't have to let their words penetrate your core. Now, this isn't about ignoring criticism altogether. Stoicism teaches you to distinguish between what's useful feedback and what's baseless attack. But when it comes to gossip and character assassination, those are distractions meant to derail you. They try to hijack your mind, push you into doubt and insecurity. Don't give them that power. Here, where you need to take deliberate action, start by clarifying your values. What principles are non-negotiable for you? Honesty, kindness, courage. Once you name them, write them down. Look at them often. When you're faced with judgment or gossip, ask yourself, are my actions aligned with these values? If the answer is yes, then you've done your part. If not, then focus your energy on course correction, not on battling external negativity. A practical exercise to try. Whenever you catch yourself worrying about what others think or feeling shaken by gossip, pause and breathe. Then repeat silently or aloud a phrase like, I live by my values, not by others' opinions. Feel how this anchors you back to yourself. Another powerful habit is journaling. At the end of each day, reflect on moments where you acted in line with your values. Celebrate those wins. If you slipped, don't beat yourself up. Commit to doing better tomorrow. This keeps your integrity front and center. Remember Seneca's words. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Craving approval from others is a form of poverty. True wealth lies in self-respect and living authentically. You're not responsible for the whispers behind your back. You're responsible for the choices you make when no one is watching. Make those choices with unwavering integrity. That is your shield and your power. So right now, decide. Will you give your power away to the judgments of others, or will you stand firmly grounded in your own values? Your silence in the face of gossip is not weakness. It's a declaration that your integrity remains untouchable. Remember, the true power lies not in controlling what others say about you, but in mastering how you respond. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When faced with gossip or character attacks, you have the choice: react with peace and strength or get pulled into chaos. So next time someone tries to tear you down with words, stand firm like a rock unshaken by the waves. Protect your inner fortress. Your reputation is yours to guard, but your peace is yours to keep. If this video helped you see gossip in a new light, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Because the more we embrace Stoic wisdom, the stronger we become together. Stay grounded, stay resilient, and always remember, your character is your true legacy. Until next time, keep living with virtue and calm, and watch how the noise fades away.